This is Jack Fletcher, Media Productions, reporting live and direct in Derby, sponsored by BD8, Ormuz UK, Nature First, Gym City and LINSCO. I'm here with Mr. Sam Jones. Sam, first of all, thanks very much for inviting me to your home today. It's nice to be here.
You invited yourself?
I did invite myself, and then you agreed and said yes.
Yes, mate, of course. Nice to have you here.
Just wanted to start off, before we get into the nitty-gritty of, modern day mainstream boxing, Joe Joyce, the future, Best Jam Promotions, etc. Sam Jones, at the beginning, what inspired you to get into boxing, Sam?
I've always loved boxing. I've always been a massive boxing fan. I still am now. Like, as much as I'm working at a good level in boxing, I'm still a boxing fan. I'm still a massive boxing fan. Prince Naseem Hamed, Lennox Lewis, Joe Calzaghe, those type of guys inspired me in the boxing world.
And how did it come to a point where you're in the position you're in today? Because at the minute, you're doing very well. S-Jam Boxing is doing extremely well. Joe Joyce is flying after his victory against Bryant Jennings, and the future's looking bright for you. Yeah,
the future's looking really bright at the moment. It's all a product of hard work, and I've got good people around me as well. I'm not a one man parade. It's all about the team. Like, we've got every boxer we have is a great guy. And Adam Morley is a huge part of the company. He's my 50-50 partner in S-Jam Boxing, and he's kind of sometimes an unsung kind of hero in the in our company, but he's the backbone of it.
I mean, I watched Joe Joyce's last fight against Bryant Jennings, and Bryant Jennings is a tough opponent. And from start to finish, Joe was firing a lot of shots in. His footwork was pretty good, and he dominated the fight for most part and got a successful win. Off the back of that, Daniel Dubois, Nathan Gorman. Dubois convincingly beat Nathan Gorman, and straight away after that, I thought to myself, Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois. That's immediately what come into my mind. Is that something that is going to be looked at in the future?
100%. Like, it's a fight. They're both promoted by the same people, so it's a fight. It's a collision course. It's gonna happen. But right now, Dubois is here and Joe's here. You saw the rankings of it. Joe's 12th in the WBC, and he's a champion in the WBA. So he's going to be mandatory very soon. He's going to be mandatory for the WBA regular, and he's going to be mandatory for the super title very soon. So Daniel Dubois is not quite on our radar just yet, but it's a fight that's going to happen. It's not maybe, it will happen.
I mean, as well as Joe Joyce is doing, Joe Joyce still has his critics. How good is he?
Well, listen, everybody has their critics. Joshua has their critics. Fury has his critics. Every fighter in it. Deontay Wilder is on now. Deontay Wilder, he gets critics. Oh, he can't box, but he's fucking effective. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's like with Joe, he's got this people saying, oh, he's slow, he's lethargic, but get out of his way then. Move out of his way, win. So what I mean, Joe's had 10 fights, and if you look at all the guys he's fought, maybe bar one or two, they've all got winning records and all come to win. So he deserves a lot of respect. And as I say, I can say it till I'm blue in the face. Joe Joyce is going to be a hard man to beat. Sometimes he's not always pretty on the eye, but he's effective in what he does. He throws a lot of punches. He's got a tremendous chin. He's got great pedigree, and he's a lot better boxer than what people give him credit for as well. So, again, we're going to see, aren't we? But Joe deserves. He's getting very close to deserving a title shot now, and it's going to happen very soon. And we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see. Then when he's put in with the elite, which is going to happen, you're going to see, aren't you?
I think what it's fair to say as well with Joe Joyce, one thing you need in the heavyweight division is a good chin as well, and I think he's proved time and time again he's got a granite chin. Yeah,
listen, the best chin is the one that doesn't get hit, but it's good to know that when you're in that top level, you can hold a shot. Because again, if you can't hold a shot in the heavyweight division, you're going to get found out very quickly, aren't you? And it's happening a lot nowadays. You're seeing people get caught. Like, as I say, Joshua for one, like, he always had a small question mark over his chin, but he's a big, strong man, isn't he, Joshua? But against Ruiz, I don't know, like, I suppose it was hit on the temple with Joshua, but you need a good chin. You need a good chin in boxing.
Just moving on to that, I met Anthony Collar earlier in the week, and he had his viewpoint on that fight. Obviously, in Saudi Arabia, AJ looking to scalp the titles back. Sam, can he do it? Can he beat Ruiz? What are your thoughts?
It could be the bogeyman for Joshua, but like I think my mind keeps changing every day, because when I watched Joshua against Ruiz, it wasn't just one shot. He was losing the fight, wasn't he? Like I watched, it didn't look like the set. To beat me, I still think there could have been something wrong with Joshua, or it could have been the fact that his mind was elsewhere and Ruiz just capitalised on the worst possible Joshua. Because I saw Ruiz spar in Big Bear with Charles Martin, and Charles Martin punched him all around the ring.
Charles Martin.
This is facts. Charles Martin was
the same chap that wore the big crown going in.
The same chap that got chinned by Joshua in 3 rounds. He was dominating Ruiz. Wow. Listen, again, sparring, but he was just easy. And I think if Joshua just was a bit more composed in that fight, like he went for the kill at the wrong time. I'm not no expert, but he went for the kill at the wrong time and he got caught coming in. But Ruiz was better than him in the whole fight. He was better than him. So the right man won the fight.
I mean, what do you think about him losing all this weight? Because I've seen recent pictures on social media. He's gone from being AJ. He's gone from being stacked to losing a hell of a lot of weight for this fight. Do you think that's going to be an advantage or a disadvantage?
I think that picture, I think you know which one you mean. The picture that was circulating around, I think that's more a kind of a Photoshop kind of thing. Right. I still think he's full of muscle, but he probably does think he needs to trim down, because to beat Ruiz, you do need speed. You do need the added speed. But again, I said it before. A good big man will usually always beat a good little man. So if you watch, I know I keep boring people to that, but if you watch Lennox Lewis, the way he used to fight, if Joshua kind of uses those kind of tactics that Lennox Lewis always used, watch the fight against Mike Tyson, he'll beat Ruiz.
They're not really seeing eye to eye at the minute, are they?
No, that should just get squashed. That's just stupid. That is between two men. They should both just pick up the phone, go and have a coffee with each other like big men, and squash it, because Joshua's this generation, Lewis was that generation. It's ridiculous.
So getting back to your man Joe Joyce, what are the immediate future plans for him then?
I've just spoke to Frank Warren today. To be fair, we've got something good coming for Joe. Something really, really good. We're working on a couple of things. It could be it's one of a couple of opponents. I can't really say who it is just yet, but we're looking at him to headline a show in probably late October, November time.
Good stuff. Yeah. That's as much as you can say at the minute.
Much as I can say right now at the moment, but it's going to be a good fight.
Brilliant stuff. And also another fight that's coming up very soon: Lomachenko against Luke Campbell. Yeah. Just need to ask what your viewpoint is on that. Do you think Campbell's got an outside chance of getting a result?
100%, he's got an outside chance. Lomachenko is not unbeatable. Like he lost. He lost in his second. I know it was only his second fight, but he lost. So, do you know what I mean? There has been that. Campbell is everything that could cause Lomachenko problems. He's tall, he's long, he's awkward. He can whack a bit. Luke Campbell, he can cause Lomachenko problems. I'm not saying he's going to win, because that's stupid of me. Lomachenko's got to be the favourite, but Campbell, of course, he has a chance. He's got a good trainer. I really rate Shane McGuigan as a trainer. Campbell's had he's done his apprenticeship in professional boxing. He lost against Mendy, rectified it, lost a very close decision against Linares. I was there that night in Los Angeles. This could be his night, but if I had to put my money on it, I'd say Lomachenko will win, but I wouldn't be overly shocked if Luke Campbell could pull off an upset.
I think it's going to be a good fight. Yeah. Obviously, you know, Campbell's a rangy fighter. Like you say, he's got a very good amateur pedigree, but Lomachenko is on a, well, I feel like he's on a different level to a lot of fighters, but it will be a close fight.
Lomachenko, I've watched him. I watched him against Crolla live, and I watched him against Jose Pedraza in New York, because my heavyweight was on the undercard. He is unbelievable. He's absolutely unbelievable. He makes you do things you don't want to do, and he puts you in a false sense of security in the ring. What he does, and I just watched his feet for 2 rounds, and just what he does is unbelievable. Like I'm sure if you asked Anthony Crolla, I've not watched the interview with him, but like if you ask him, Anthony Crolla's not a mug. Anthony Crolla's a world level fighter, and I still think he's got something to give Anthony in boxing. You can't just lose to Lomachenko and think, his career's over. Why? arguably the best fighter in the world.
He did say that he was coming back.
Good. I'm glad he's coming back. I'm glad he's coming back because people are so quick to like say, "Oh, he's lost to Lomachenko, retire." Why?
Lost to the best in the world.
Lost to the best in the world. Why? So if Otto Wallin loses to Tyson Fury, is he meant to retire afterwards? Well, he probably could on the dough he's getting, but no, you go another route. There's belts. There's other belts. There's Lomachenko. He's just one of those guys that you just have to go on. There's another path. Yeah. Go down that path. Yeah.
So moving on to your pal Billy Joe Saunders. Yeah. So this week he signed with Matchroom Boxing. I think everybody kind of knew that was going to happen before it happened anyway. Yeah. Who would you like to see Billy Joe Saunders fight? I mean, personally, I'd like to see him fight Callum Smith. Yeah. Who would you like to see him fight?
I wouldn't like to see the Callum Smith fight, if I'm honest, because I think that Callum Smith is a massive super middleweight and Billy Joe Saunders is a middleweight. So I would like to see Billy Joe fight Canelo or Golovkin. Yeah. That's what I would like to see.
Billy wants that fight against Canelo.
Yeah. Billy, in my honest opinion, people can say whatever they like. I think he'll beat. I know Gennady Golovkin like very well. He's one of the nicest men I've ever met. Billy Joe Saunders causes him all kinds of problems. He causes Canelo all kinds of problems. Callum Smith is simply too big for him, in my honest opinion. So I think he should. I'll probably get stick for saying that, but like I wouldn't. It's not a fight that I'm eager to see. I think Callum Smith can go and have many other fights with some other. There's other top names. Caleb Plant's a great fight for Callum Smith at Anfield. But for Billy Joe, I'd like to see him fight two of the real big boys.
I think the way Callum Smith dismantled George Groves is sort of a bit of a benchmark on.
100%. I think George Groves had seen better days, but Callum Smith, look, he pummeled him, didn't he? So Callum Smith's a great fighter, really top level fighter, arguably the best super middleweight in the world.
Can Billy beat Canelo?
Can Billy 100%? He can beat Canelo. He can beat Golovkin. He can beat any of those two, but I would favour Callum Smith at super middleweight only because he's just massive, and Billy Joe's not a super middleweight. Yeah, you can make the weight and make both weights comfortably. I'm sure he can, but I'm just saying this as a boxing fan. I don't sit on like it's not quite. I know Billy Joe and it's better than I would know. Callum Smith is too big for Billy Joe. Can Billy Joe outbox him? Possibly, but why take that risk? Now you've signed with Eddie. Go and get those other big boys. Yeah. That's my opinion.
What's your plans over the next couple of weeks yourself then?
Moving house. yeah. I'm moving down to Surrey. I've spent 30 years of my life in Derby now, but I'm moving down to Surrey.
Still getting to Derby County games.
Yeah, still getting to as many Derby County games as possible. Yeah. Forest fan.
Just off camera today, Sam found out that I was a Forest fan and I nearly got turfed out his house.
Yeah, they've just drawn in the cup, haven't we? Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, I'm going to 100% go to that one. It's at Forest though, isn't it?
But honestly, thanks very much for your time today, and thanks for talking to Jack Fletcher Media Productions.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.